All right, good morning, and I welcome you to our morning class for our new year almost. It's the end of 2019. 2019. And I would invite you now to just come to your seat where you are comfortable to sit, maybe sitting with a blanket to support your spine, so that you can relax your shoulders down, away from your ears. We're going to close our eyes. Take in a nice big breath, filling your lungs, then emptying your lungs. And let's take a few breaths in that way. Just really beginning to center yourself here on your mat. Grounding through your sit bones. Feeling supported by the earth. Breathing and filling the lungs. Exhaling, emptying the lungs, and just noticing how you're feeling this morning. An interior look. We're leaving behind all of the hustle and bustle from the holidays. Any of the concerns that you've had with family gatherings and friends and parties. Just let that all go. Breathing here in this place with your body, knowing that every time we come to a practice, our bodies may be different. And so we scan our body and we breathe, noticing different parts that might be saying hello to us this morning. Letting go of expectations, letting go of judgments and competition always. And we stay in the present moment through our breath, moving, allowing the breath to guide us on our movements. Let's begin to place our hands on our thighs here, and no matter how you are sitting, you can sit on your knees or cross-legged in whatever way feels best to you. And we're going to move into some Sufi rolls, leaning over to one side and hinging forward with a flat back, exhaling there. Then inhaling to the other side and lifting towards the ceiling, lengthening the spine. Exhaling over to the other side and forward. Inhaling, lifting, looking up. Noticing your body moving gently, purposefully with your breath. And then maybe we move the other direction, turning it the opposite way. Noticing how that feels. Another important thing to remember as we move into our practice is that whenever we need to, we can stop, we can relax, we can rest if we need to. Child pose is a nice place to do that, perhaps. So whenever you feel the need, I want you to honor your body in that way. And then let's come back to our center and pause and notice how that movement changed anything or brought more attention to an area, perhaps, of body. Then I invite you to lie down on your back. So make your way down to the mat. And just relax there for a moment. You can have your knees bent if you'd like. That will release some of the tension in your back. Or you can have your legs straight if that feels better. And here we allow the muscles along the spine to let go, releasing tension. Yes, breathing. Still, we fill the lungs and we empty the lungs as the belly drops towards the spine. Taking a kind of the tone of how our body feels today, moving slowly. And then let's begin to bring our right knee in. Just draw it in towards the chest gently. You can hold on to the knee, maybe underneath the knee. It'd be less intense instead of over the top of the knee. And just feel that, maybe roll that knee around, opening it to the side slightly, back to the center, easing into your hips this morning. And then we can release that knee when you feel ready, and we'll do the same on the other side. Noticing our spine and our shoulders wide on the mat, the spine laying down into the mat if possible. Moving and breathing. Finding some, maybe getting some fluid moving into the joint. Good. And let's release that foot down, and we're going to bend both knees here, moving into now a bridge flow. We'll start off by bringing the knees and bringing the feet, hip distance wide, bringing them in towards your buttocks. And then arms are alongside your body. We're going to gradually press into the feet, lifting hips off of the mat from the sacrum, rolling up each vertebra towards the shoulders, moving up towards the ceiling bridge. Taking a breath or two at the top of that posture. And when you're ready, lowering down one vertebra at a time. Noticing when you get to the bottom, just for a moment on this first one. See how that feels. And then you're welcome to move at your own pace here as you press into the feet, raising hips up into bridge. Being aware of your pelvis staying neutral here as you rise up. In other words, so we don't have one hip higher than the other, maybe one leg, it feels a little stronger and you push a little harder into one side without realizing it. So equal pressure, noticing. Finding flexibility in the spine, bringing synovial fluid between the vertebra, bathing it. And then I'm going to ask you the next time you come down onto the mat to just grab a block, find your block. And we're going to place the block between our thighs. If you're at home and you don't have a block, no worries. You could use a block. You could use a fat book if you want to, or a pillow maybe. And we rise back up, noticing how this might change the feel of that posture. Creating maybe a little bit more core strength here. And flowing with your breath. And inhaling, we rise up through each vertebra. Exhaling, we slowly lower down back to the mat. The next time we all come back down onto the floor, we'll meet there. We'll keep the block in our knees, and let's just add the arm movement in. So as we rise up, our arms are going to lift, and when we come to our highest place, the arms are maybe rising overhead to the floor over our head. And on our exhale, the arms come back down and we arrive at the same time, the arms and the buttocks, back and forth. Noticing how this may change your core activation through this posture. We'll do 2 more of these. And then when you complete your 2, we come back onto the mat again and just notice, pause for a moment. You could take the block out and set it aside. We're going to move into some ab work here, some very subtle ab work. So with our knees bent as they are now, we're going to draw the belly in and press the low back into the mat on an exhale. On an inhale, we tilt the tailbone and allow the spine to roll up slightly. It's just a subtle movement through the low abs area. And then we press back in, drawing the belly in on the exhale, tilting and allowing it to come off of the mat on our inhale. Moving in that way a few times and noticing how that feels. Low ab work. Strengthening your core. Breathing Exhaling, squeezing, inhaling, rocking up gently. And we'll come back into neutral, just relax and notice the body. And then let's straighten your left leg. Straighten your left leg. Lift the right foot off of the mat and just draw it in. Bring your hands actually behind your head. Interlink your fingers behind your neck. So it's just gently, gently supported here. And we're going to bring the left elbow towards the right knee. And then lower the knee down, bring the other leg up, right knee to left knee, right arm to left knee, and we alternate in that way. Supporting our head. Alternating legs. Yes, good. Let's do 2 more, 1 on each side. And relax down. And notice. Let's bring your knees in now, both knees in, and we're going to just gently rock. Our arms will be on the floor. We're going to be just gently rock left and right, getting a little massage. So our feet will be off of the mat if you'd like them to be. Just kind of massage back and forth there, noticing. Good. And we'll release our feet down on the mat now. We're going to move into figure 4, getting a stretch into the hip area a little bit. So let's bring our left ankle to our right knee. Yes, and staying in this place is the least intense, which may be the best place for you. Your right foot would be down on the mat, your left leg on the knee. Be aware of your left knee and allow it to press away from you slightly, engaging the inner thigh here perhaps. Okay? Then the next level here of intensity would be that you lift that right foot off of the mat and press in against the ankle. Notice how that feels. Finding even more precise feeling here by rocking gently, ever so slightly to one side and then back to center and to the other to determine where that stretch feels the best, where your edge might be. And breathe there, where you find that. Breathe there. Good, and then let's release that foot down and we'll switch sides. Maybe we notice, let's just pause a minute before we go to the other side and see how that hip feels. Just taking time. We have all the time in the world for ourselves today. When you're ready, we'll switch sides. We'll bring the other ankle to the knee. Right ankle onto our left knee. And noticing that first level of intensity foot on the mat, and then if you would like, lifting that foot off of the mat, pressing against the ankle, remembering to activate the inner thigh of that right leg by pressing the knee away from your body slightly. And again, we're creating a little bit more of our edge here by rocking ever so gently one direction or the other, finding that ideal space. Good, and let's release that knee down, release the foot down. Let's straighten out completely. Let's lengthen, let's bring our arms maybe even over our head and stretch in opposite directions. We're long and lean. Ah, it feels so good here. Lengthening the spine, pressing through the heels of the feet, reaching with the fingertips to the opposite wall. And then relaxing, letting those muscles go, letting them relax. Good, and now I invite you to move on to your hands and knees. So we'll find our way to our hands and knees, and we'll want to have some kind of padding, a blanket for your knees, padding your knees. We're going to come onto all fours here. And we're going to find our hands shoulder width and our knees hip width. Let's bring our hands slightly in front of our shoulders so that we take a little bit of the crease out of the wrists, creating a little less tension there. You can curl your toes under here if you'd like, or flatten the feet onto the mat, but let's keep the feet pressed into the floor in some way so that we stay grounded here. And we're going to bring our spine towards the ceiling in cat as we exhale, arching the spine, drawing the belly in. And then inhaling and tilting the hips up and looking up into cow. Exhaling cat. Inhaling cow. We move and breathe here. Kind of like flossing our spine. Just think how healthy that is for us. Keeping our spine movable and young. So far, we've been waking up the first and second chakra and the third chakra now into the solar plexus. Also moves almost into the fourth chakra here with the back of the heart arching up. Some modifications that you can have here for your hands are fists for wrists if you need to, with your fists facing each other, or wide fingers on the mat. Or maybe if you have blocks, you could place your hands over blocks to to relieve some tension from your wrists. And let's sit back now into child pose. Let's find your child pose. Sitting back towards your heels, and if you are not as flexible in that area, even because it's early morning, you can move into what we call puppy. Your hips are a little higher off of your heels. Let's connect our head in some way to the floor, whether we stack our hands and place them under our forehead, or maybe place a block under our forehead, or even if you can bring your head down to the mat. And then I'd like for you to rock your head ever so gently, kind of getting a massage right there, the third eye area between your eyes on your forehead. And as we stimulate that area by massaging or rolling there, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and relax response in the body. So much of our time, of our daily lives, is spent in what we call the sympathetic nervous system, the get up and go and go and go and go and do and do and do. And we need to rest and relax that response so that we get rid of stress in the body. Let's find our way back to all fours again, keeping our knees on the mat or on the blanket. And then we're going to move into what we call spinal balance. So one of the things that we're looking for here in spinal balance is to stay stable through the hip area so that we're not wobbling around as we lift and as we return a hand and a leg to the floor. We're also looking to try and control this movement using our breath so that when we bring the hand and the knee back, they arrive at the same time. So let's see how we do here. We're going to start off by stretching out the right leg. Lengthen that leg out of the hip. Toe is still on the mat. And we're going to lift the left arm alongside our ear, reaching for the far wall. And maybe this is where you need to stay today. Or if you want to continue up, we press our right heel out, bringing the leg even with our hips. No higher than our hips. We don't want to add more stress into the low back. And we breathe as we're raised up here. Our eyes are on the mat. We're not lifting the head, pressing into the back of the neck in any way. And then let's slowly remember to come back and try and do this evenly, hand and knee. Just pause for a moment and notice. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We extend the left leg out, stretching it out, toe on the mat. Reach up with the right arm, lengthening to the far wall. We lift in the belly in order to lift that left leg up. Press through the left heel, reaching in opposite directions. Lots of dynamic tension that is created here, lots of energy moving. We breathe. We return slowly, hand and knee back to the mat. And notice. And then we're going to continue to move here in spinal balance at your pace. So we raise up our left arm again and our right leg. And we're going to move and breathe mindfully. Pressing through the heel of the foot. You're doing a great job keeping the legs at hip height and no higher. Protecting your back, taking care of your body. It's really important. We inhale as we lift, and we exhale as we return. Let's all find our way back to child pose. And while we're here in child pose, we're going to take care of our wrists now. Let's rotate the wrists. Massage the hands if you want. Sending your hands some love. Our hands are extensions of our heart, right? We give and we receive through our hands. Take care of our hands. Good. Let's extend our arms out in front of us with long, straight arms in extended child pose now. Lengthening the spine. We're preparing now to lift up. We're going to press into all the fingers, lift up, and come over the top of the hands into kneeling plank. Activate the shoulders by straightening the arms, pressing in here, and then lift into the belly so that we don't become a hammock where we let go of the low back, and we're not a tent where we're sitting up too high. Exhale back to child pose, leaving the arms straight here. We inhale back into kneeling plank. We're going to move back and forth. Exhaling back to extended child pose. And then when you're ready, inhaling forward. Warming up the shoulders, strengthening the shoulders. This is a good way to warm up the body as well, starting with the child pose to kneeling plank. The next time we all come forward over the hands into kneeling plank, we have an option here to hug the elbows into the rib cage and exhale lower and inhale press back up and then into child pose. So we're just adding a little dip here, a little push up. Let your breath help you. Inhaling, kneeling plank, exhaling, elbows hug in. We press up on an inhale. We exhale back to child pose. We'll do a couple more of those. And the next time we all find ourselves in child pose, let's pause there for just a moment. We're going to inhale over the hands again into kneeling plank, but this time we're going to lift the knees off of the mat into a bent-legged downward facing dog. Bend your legs, bend your knees. We can even pedal our feet a little bit here, stretching through the backs of our legs. Noticing how this feels now. Walking our feet forward into what we call forward fold. Let the head drop down and shake no and yes. Our feet are hip distance wide. We're going to slide our hands up towards our knees halfway into monkey with a flat back. Exhaling back down into forward fold. Let's do that a few times. Inhaling into monkey. Exhaling to forward fold. The next time we come down into forward fold, we're going to bend our knees and hinge at the hip as we sweep the arms up, coming into a standing mountain pose. Reach the hands up and stretch. Yes. Let's swan dive forward here. Swan dive forward, hinging at the hip. Enjoy this movement. Sweep back up, inhaling back and forth a couple times. Exhale forward. Inhale, lifting, lengthening to the sky. Last one. I'm going to bring our hands to our heart here. Close our eyes. Just feel our perpendicular posture now. Our feet grounded in the floor. Notice your balance. Good. And from here, we're going to move into moonflower. So moonflower, sunflower. We can move the blanket off for right now, and we're going to come into a straddle position. So you may want to turn on your mat. You can face whichever way you'd like. And we have wide legs. Toes are pointing towards corners. So they're kind of at an angle here, right? We want to have our legs wide enough that when we bend our knees, the knees stay over the ankles, not over the toes. So kind of be checking that on your body. That'll help create good alignment and protect your knees. So we're going to circle sweep up, reach up. Exhale, drawing the elbows into the rib cage and bending knees. The knees face the toes. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. Back and forth with our breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Warming up the body. And in moonflower, it can be a little more aerobic if you would like it to be. Really warming up the inside of the body. Yes, good. You all look great. Moving and breathing. Yeah. We're going to mix it up a little here. The next time our hands come up, we're going to exhale into sunflower, which means we're going to hinge forward this time with a flat back. Come down, scoop up these sunflowers that are all over the floor and throw them out, scoop them up, and toss them. Maybe we're cleaning our garden here. We're scooping up all of the extra stuff. We're throwing it into our compost bin. Working those gardening muscles. Moving, breathing. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Yes, good. Feeling our heart beginning to beat a little faster. Our lungs exchanging oxygen. Our circulation moving a little faster. And then you can mix it up. You can move moonflower and then sunflower, or find the place that feels best for you, that your body needs today. Maybe you want to explore the balance of these poses with your legs wide. Maybe you want to change this up a little and reach out into different areas of the space around you, just to stretch in a different way, perhaps. Moving, breathing, just enjoying this movement of loving the body and its capabilities. It's great. Good. And the next time we reach up to the sky, let's walk back by doing toes in, heels in, toes in, heels in, until we come to our hip distance wide feet. Bring our hands together over our head, and we're going to move into chair by exhaling, bringing the hands to the heart, sitting back, hips back, knees again, align over our ankles. Here in chair, we can draw in the belly, hugging it in. Circle, sweep up, reaching. Exhaling to chair. Circling up. Exhaling to chair. Moving. Breathing. Good. And how about the next time we come into chair, let's sit down into chair. We're going to twist to the left. So when we twist to the left, our right elbow could go onto our knee, our hands stack, the left elbow towards the ceiling, or a modification, we take our right hand to our left thigh, the left hand to the small of the back, and we continue the twist. We look up here in this twist. We keep our knees parallel, so look down, see if your knees have twisted a little. And we can release down, let the head drop, shake it no and yes. Circle, sweep up, reaching, gathering all that energy up, bring it back into the heart, sitting back into chair, twisting now to the right, choosing your position, modifying it, or placing your elbows on the knee. Keep the twist moving though, as in pressing the right shoulder back, looking up, and we release, let go, exhale, the head drops down. We can shake it no and yes. Circle, sweeping up. Let's exhale one more time into chair. Actually, I guess two, because we want to even it out. So we twist to one side. And then come back to center. Inhale back up. And exhale to chair on the other side. Good. Coming back up, we inhale up. Let's bring our hands back to our heart, standing tall. We're going to make our way to the top of our mat. And we can bring our hands down to the side. So we have a traditional Tadasana pose here. Let's just talk through this Tadasana just a little bit. Our feet are firm right underneath our hips, hip distance wide. As we activate the feet into the floor, we feel the toes stretch. We feel the ball of the foot and the heel of the foot pressing in. And as we do that, we can draw the legs towards each other slightly. You feel it a little bit into the heels pulling towards each other. Our shoulders are rolled back and down. Palms come forward in this way. Our jaw is loose, parallel to the floor. And we are in Tadasana. A lot of things going on in the body, even though it looks pretty relaxed here. From here, we're going to circle sweep up. Exhale down to the floor and step back into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we have a choice here. We can move into modified series of movements or a full series. So I will do the modified series first, and you can choose either one. So you can come with your knees down for kneeling plank, or you can move into full plank. From full plank or kneeling plank, we exhale, elbows in towards the chest, halfway down, and then we lower all the way down. Our forehead comes down to the mat. Our hands are on either side of the chest, elbows bent. And we're going to lift the head and shoulders slightly up into baby cobra. Press into the tops of the feet. However, we want to stay very grounded through the rest of the body. Knees and thighs are pressed into the floor. Our pubic bone pressed into the floor. Shoulders back and down. Let's exhale back down. Press back into down dog or child pose. And we'll continue in that way. Moving forward into plank or kneeling plank. We exhale halfway down, and then we lower all the way down. Connect the tops of your feet, knees, thighs, pubic bone, and lift the back of the head into baby cobra. We're gazing down on the mat, keeping our head and neck in alignment here. We press in and lift up into child pose or down dog. Inhaling into plank or kneeling plank. We exhale partway down. We lower the rest of the way down. Lifting on an inhale into baby cobra. Lowering down and pressing up into down dog or child pose. One more time through this. Good, and then your choice of kneeling plank or full plank, bringing those elbows in towards your chest, in towards your rib cage, all the way down, cobra. Connect the tops of your feet into the floor. It's real important in cobra to protect our back that we connect all the lower part of the body. And then we're going to come back into child pose this time. And let's relax for a moment. Good. Breathing and noticing how your body feels now. Now I invite you to come up onto your feet for standing, some balance poses. So make your way there however you would like to. Good. Shake it out. Shake it out. Be loose. Be like Jell-O. We want to have all of these joints just really lubricated. All right, so standing first, just on both feet, we're going to just stand and close our eyes for our balance practice here. Allow yourself to come slightly forward, eyes are closed, and then come back to center, and slightly back, and back to center. Over to one side, back to center, and over to the other side, and back to center. So we're kind of feeling where we are in space here. Let's lift up onto the balls of the feet. So we lift up and we lower down. Slowly lower, slowly rise up. See how much control we have over this today. Each day is going to be different. Lower back down. Let's lift the toes. Our feet are on the mat now. Lift the toes. Then press the toes down. Lift up onto the ball of the foot. The heels rise. We stay there. We hold and breathe. One of the keys for balance is that we gaze onto a non-moving spot on the floor. You can always use a wall if you want to practice that way, or a chair. Let's lower back down. Good. So we're going to come into a tree pose, one of our standard poses, extending out the right toe out to the side. Okay? We want to keep this standing leg soft, and we're going to bring the hands to the heart, perhaps here, and slide the right toe into the ankle. Now this may be where your challenge is for today, perhaps. So you can stay here and practice, like if you come off of center, you come back into balance and you experiment there. Or you raise the knee straight up in front of you for the beginning of tree. If that's feeling pretty good, you can open the knee to the side, but one caution is to bring this right foot away from your kneecap. So it must be below it or above your kneecap, so we don't injure our knees. We can grow our arms here if you'd like. Spread out the branches. Let the rain come. Let the wind come. Can we stay here? Wow! And the storm ends, yes. And we come back down and release and quickly put our foot down. Okay, good job. Coming back into center, let's come back again just to our 2 feet on the floor, lifting onto the balls of our feet. Heels come high, exhaling down, inhaling up, Exhaling down. And let's move into tree on the other side, okay? So we stand on the right foot. We extend our left leg out. We slide that left toe in towards our ankle. Find the balance here. Notice how that feels. When you're ready, just bend that left leg up, straight in front of you for the first part of this. If that feels okay for you, see how it does when you open the knee out to the left. Good. And from here we continue up. Arms can rise up or stay where you need to be to practice wherever that balance comes off for you. Yeah. And the wind begins to whip up and our leaves begin to fly around. And we come back. Isn't balance all about, let's bring our hands down and release our foot to the floor. But yoga should bring balance to our bodies. So when we practice balance, we want to be able to feel balance no matter what's going on around us in some way, right? Whether it's balance in eating during the holidays, what's going on around you, right? Or whether it's kind of chaotic everywhere, can you bring your body into balance and your mind into balance and rest there, okay? So balance is a great thing. Let's try one more time, moving to tree. We'll start with the right foot out again. So we're coming back into tree, your version of tree, if you want to. And then moving from here into star. Another option. Press it out and then bring it back in. Good, release back down. And we'll do the same on the other side. So tree to star. Let's see how you do there. How does that feel? Moving, extending out, experimenting. It's always an experiment. It's just playing. We're just playing. It should be fun. Yes, good. And then we come back. And one last balance here we're going to try. Is it a lot? Well, we always have the option to just do part of this, right? And to rest in some way. And that's fine. So in this balance, I'm going to bring my hands to my heart. And I'm going to move into what I will call airplane balance. It's almost like a preparation for Warrior 3, okay? So I'm going to extend my right toe out. I'm going to hinge at my hip, lift this leg up, and I'm going to release my arms out. Yeah. And we come back in. Hands to heart, and we can release the hands down. And let's do the other side. Try that on the other side. Hinging at the hip, flattening that back. Yes, beautiful, super women. Wonder Woman, I guess, huh? Good job. And when we come back, we stand and just notice. Good. Let's come down onto the mat now again. Let's lie down on our backs. just notice for a few moments, for a few of your breaths, how does your body feel now? Relaxing the neck and shoulders, relaxing the spine and the muscles along the spine. Let's leave our left leg straight and bend the right knee. We're going to press into that right foot and lift the hips slightly and tuck them under us so we can let the left knee roll over, the right knee roll over the left leg, into a twist. Let's find our shoulders staying on the mat. You can support that bent knee with a block if you'd like, or with your hand if you'd like. Just relax here in this pose. Breathing. Good. Noticing how this feels. And let's bring that foot back down in the center. Stretch out that right leg and bend the left knee now. Again, pressing into the left foot, press in and lift those hips. Tuck them underneath you slightly. Let the left knee roll over the straight leg as you relax the shoulders into the mat. You can choose to look the opposite direction of your knees if you'd like, or look straight up towards the ceiling. You can also support that knee if you need to relax a little deeper. Breathing and noticing. And let's bring that leg back down. And bend both knees. Let's bend both knees. We're going to place our hands over the kneecaps and bring the legs off the mat. And then roll those knees open and then come back together again into a circle. Pressing them away and then bringing them back together in a nice circle, noticing how the hips feel right now. Breathing. Then we can place the feet back on the mat. Let the legs straighten out. Let's reach the arms overhead one last time and stretch there. Enjoy that stretch through the heels of the feet and the fingers of the hand. Reaching. And then relax everything. Softening everywhere. And then we're going to prepare now for final Savasana, the all-important corpse pose, where we release all of the holding that we might be experiencing. You can use the scented cloth for your eyes if you have one, and enjoy covering up with a warm blanket if you have one. Maybe putting socks on. scanning your body while you're here in final Savasana. Just noticing how it feels. Come and find the quiet center. In the crowded life we lead, find the room for hope to enter. Find the frame where we are freed. Clear the chaos and the clutter. Clear our eyes that we can see all the things that really matter. Be at peace and simply be. come to the end of our practice now, and we wiggle our fingers and our toes, beginning to come back to the room. Taking some breaths here, maybe stretching out slightly. And then I invite you to roll onto your side and take a breath or two there before you make your way to a comfortable seated place to close our class together. We'll bring our hands to our heart. And I thank you for joining me today. And I pray that as you leave this room and enjoy the rest of your week, that you take with you that peace and harmony that you've found in your body, through your breath, through your yoga practice. Namaste. Namaste.